This is a dumb feature to add to an anime figure. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven today with a figure review from a brand that I am buying for the very first time, and this is also their very first scale figure. So the brand I'm talking about today is Momoroser, which is a new Chinese figure brand, and this is like literally their very first figure release. They have not released anything before, so I'm interested to see how she turns out. And for me to take the risk, on buying from a figure brand that I know nothing about, it all comes down to the attractive price of only 249 Chinese yuan. Yeah, this is the price of almost a pop-up rate figure, but we are getting a 1/6 scale figure that is painted to near perfection. So this figure at 1/6 scale, she stands at about 27 centimeters tall, which is, a solid 1/6. Initially, when I took the figure out from the box during the unboxing, I was surprised by, wow, this figure is big for 1/6 scale. But then once I take out the measuring tape, this is exactly 1/6. Maybe some Japanese brands have been giving us undersized figures in the first place, which is why this felt a little bit big. Anyways, this figure actually came out a few months ago, and some of you watching today's figure review, you say that you already owned this figure, for the past few months, and you were happy with the figure. And apparently, this figure comes with some special features. Well, just one. Fluorescent painting, where at the very edges of her hair over here, as well as her wings, they actually glow in the dark if they were exposed to ultraviolet light in the first place, which is either the sunlight or fluorescent light included, right? Your fluorescent lights at home. And I find that to be one of the weirdest things you can add to an anime figure. It feels pointless, it feels gimmicky, and it is something I would highly advise against you guys to do, which is to expose your figures, any figure, to UV light or sunlight, because you are going to damage the figure in the long term. So, do not expect me to show you any pictures or videos of this figure in the dark with glowing paintwork, because I have not exposed this figure to any kinds of UV light. I appreciate Momoroser for trying to be innovative in a way, for trying to offer us something unique. But this is a dumb feature to add to an anime figure, if I have to be frank with you guys over here. As I mentioned in my previous figure haul video, I got this figure from Bilibili store, China, via the Taobao store. And if you were looking for a way to ship figures or any other things from China to overseas, then you can make use of the proxy service called Superbuy, which is actually now a partner of this channel. Superbuy is a parcel forwarding service, a proxy service, where they help you purchase anything, as long as it is legal, of course. They help you purchase anything from China, Taobao, Xianyi, JD.com, and many others, and then they ship it to their warehouse. You combine, ship them to your own country. A forwarding service. And they have excellent customer service in the form of a subreddit, r/superbuy, which you should join. Now, getting back to this figure over here, the unboxing and assembly process was straightforward, unremarkable, like nothing too specific for me to mention, other than being careful with this pair of wings over here. The pack behind is very thin. Make sure to insert it at the correct angle, and it is very easy to get it in. It is not tight at all. The next thing that really caught my attention in a good way was how sturdy the figure is. This thing is like almost rock solid in terms of the connection from the foot to the base. You get metal foot pegs, yes, at this price. And the base is the best thing about this figure, especially given the 250 Chinese yuan pricing. There is at least 2 layers of plastic, thick plastic, that forms the base. They snap together, and because of that, the base is kind of bulky and heavy, resulting in a very stable figure that doesn't really wobble much, and it is not easy to knock over the figure either. The base has some weight to it, which is very rare considering many 20,000+ yen figures give us a crappier base than this one over here. Now, moving on to the box, a quick mention over here. This is also a good quality box, not as tough as Yuna's, the 1/4 scale, but more than good enough, right? This is more than good enough. And interestingly, we have a hologram sticker for authenticity. Like, why spend money printing stickers that say Momoroser on a cheap figure like this? But I appreciate it regardless. And of course, there is a postcard in the box. Now, moving on to the sculpting of this figure. This is one of those lower budget scale figures that are not very detailed, but because they are not detailed to begin with, there is not much to screw up, so they can concentrate on perfecting the figure. And as such, when I compare this figure to the official product pictures by the brand, she looks exactly the same as what was being promised. Yeah, sure. If this is compared to other budget figures like those under 12,000 yen, this is a solid 8.5 out of 10. But if I compare it to every other high quality scale figures that cost 3 or 4 times as much at 1/7, 1/6, then this would be maybe a 7 out of 10. Still a very good score coming from me though. The reason this figure is lacking detail is very simple, because she has very little clothes on, right? She is wearing what is very similar to a lingerie, so it is all black, full gloss black with some silver color trims, and this is extremely easy to paint and manufacture as a figure. Sculpting is precise and there are no quality control issues on the sculpting part, like parts are all assembled nicely, no gaps, no glue leaking out, no ugly seam lines. Overall, a very solid sculpting over here. And moving on to the paint work, right? The paint work, once again, because it is a simple figure, there is nothing to screw up. We do get some heavy shading on her hair and her wings over here. It is so obvious that I think every figure collector, including the newbies, can see how nicely done the gradient paint work is on her hair and her wings, right? And in fact, without this kind of paint work, this figure would look very boring and very dull. And the shading is not limited to the hair or the wings. There is some shading even on the skin region. Like if you look carefully around the armpit region, the side boob region, you can see a little bit of pinkish tones on the skin. It is not like pure skin color without any shading like many other cheaper figures, pop-up red included. You actually get some gradient work on the skin as well. So for a budget figure, this is very impressive and a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for the paint work of this figure. The base, if I factor in the fact that this is 250 Chinese yuan, this is a 10 out of 10 base. It is not often I give this kind of score to a figure base, because a lot of figures out there, they don't get it right with the base, but this one gets it right so much that I have nothing else to complain about. So overall, this is an incredible figure for such a low cost that maybe some of you may question, is this even AI art, so they don't have to pay licensing fees to the artist. I did not do any background check on where this character originated from or which artist is behind the character, but I believe that AI nowadays is more of a tool and it depends on how you use it. If you just use AI to generate an artwork, you do nothing to it and then you sell it like that, then that is a scummy thing to do. But if you are an artist or a sculptor, a creative professional in general, AI can be an amazing tool when it comes to creating draft. You have a starter draft created by AI and then you do the touch up, the modification on your own, then I'm fine with using AI with art in general, right? It all depends on how you use it. So, can I recommend this figure? The answer is an obvious yes. But please, and please, and please again, do not expose this figure to any ultraviolet light, even the indoors fluorescent light. Yeah, fluorescent light tubes are not good for figures. I'm telling you that, guys, that first. And I do not have any fluorescent light at all in my studio. All of these, including the ones above, are LED. So, you won't see this figure of mine glowing anytime soon. Until then, if you found this review to be helpful or informative, please give this video a like and a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Until then, thank you very much for watching and I shall see you again very soon. Goodbye.